Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including the Model 3 entirely disqualified from the tax credit, Cybertruck crash test updates, the brand new second generation Tesla bot, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, the Model 3 refresh has won CarWow UK's award for Outstanding EV of the Year. They say that this refresh has done a lot to overhaul some of what they perceived as weaknesses in the previous version. They say, quote, "The previous Model 3 was still right up with the best electric vehicles, but Tesla has made it even better with a massive overhaul to address the weaknesses. It's now much more comfy over bumpy roads and more luxurious to drive, but still as efficient as ever. And of course, the supercharger network of public chargers is brilliant." As far as their criteria here, Matt Watson said, quote, "To help buyers make the right choice for them, we've looked at everything from price and performance to efficiency, comfort, and practicality, the things that really matter to car buyers. We've picked out the cars that we think lead the field and offer something different, innovative, and valuable to buyers paying out their hard-earned money." This same car was also awarded Best Car You Can Buy in Norway, so it's doing well, and it leads us to anticipate this refresh's release in the US even more. As for the CarWow Awards, some runners-up to the prize were Audi's Q4 e-tron, the MG4, the Smart #1, and the Volvo EX30. What's doubly interesting here is that although the new Model 3 won their award for Outstanding EV, the EX30 won their overall Car of the Year award. It goes to show that while Tesla is still leading the pack in electric cars, a number of other automakers are bringing great new products to market, especially in markets where there is a reasonable charging network available for them. This kind of competition is great for everyone. It pushes all of these automakers, including Tesla, to constantly be improving their vehicles and offering them at more affordable prices. The Model Y was also selected as highly commended for the Family Values Award, saying, "Tesla's aggressive pricing has opened up this practical and innovative electric car to a much wider audience." Next up today, a small update on the safety ratings for the Cybertruck. Tesla is well known for making very safe vehicles, with the Model Y being the IAHS top safety pick for 2023 among many other accolades. It also scored the highest score ever from Euro NCAP. This vehicle is very well known and well studied, and the data shows just how safe it is to be behind the wheel of a Model Y. With the brand new Cybertruck only just being released, we don't know nearly as much about the safety of that car beyond what Tesla has shared. Some fear that given the truck's sharp angles, rigid stainless steel body, and heavy weight, this vehicle may not be as safe as some of Tesla's other offerings. It being a truck, a degree of this is assumed, but how does it stack up when compared to other vehicles its size? Unfortunately, we can't know for sure until we get independently tested data from a third party like NHTSA or IAHS in the US. Tesla does their own in-house testing, and their vehicles must be safe enough to be sold, but they do not have a standardized rating system that they could release to the public. NHTSA has announced that because Tesla performed their own internal safety tests that met their minimum requirements, it was not necessary for them to independently test. They put up a preliminary safety rating for the Cybertruck, but it doesn't include any real data on the testing that was done. It simply includes a list of the truck's safety features and whether they are compliant with NHTSA's regulations. This means that we won't be getting an official safety rating until they're able to test the truck themselves, and we don't know when that will be. Over at the IAHS, they announced that they currently have no plans to test the Cybertruck. They also say that since the tests done by Tesla showed that this truck met their minimum requirements, they would not be testing it themselves. One spokesperson said that they may still test this truck after they assess the level of general consumer interest in the vehicle. Tesla also has the option to nominate their vehicle to be tested by either or both groups. Essentially, Tesla would give them Cybertrucks to test and cover the cost of their testing in order to expedite the testing process. There are other avenues that would allow a car manufacturer to go around the testing process, but since the Cybertruck is a totally new model, it would not yet be eligible. It's quite interesting to see this since it's a normal process for brand new cars. Nobody questioned the Rivian R1T's safety testing from a brand new company with a brand new car, which similarly became available after it had been delivering for some time. It did very well, but for the Cybertruck, the shape and exoskeleton is what makes many assume that they know it will be unsafe, just by looking. As of now, it seems like neither NHTSA or IAHS have imminent plans to independently test the Cybertruck. We know that Tesla has a great track record when it comes to creating safe vehicles. However, when you are doing something radical in making a vehicle like the Cybertruck, you accept the risk that some people may not trust it at first. I hope that this truck does get tested independently soon, so we can hopefully put those fears aside and know that Tesla has created another exceptionally safe vehicle. One new test Tesla did just post on their Cybertruck account is the front overlap test. A lot of people have been comparing this test on other vehicles inaccurately to Tesla's full frontal crash of the Cybertruck, so now they have released the front overlap. They say, quote, "It's not about the size of the crumple zone, it's about how you use it. When in high-speed collision, Cybertruck's front underbody casting is designed to break into small pieces. This helps reduce occupant impact by absorbing and dispensing energy." This seems to be Tesla trying to release more information to qualm the fears that people have. And per usual, it seems like people either look at this video and think it's groundbreaking from a safety perspective, or think it's the most dangerous vehicle ever made. My personal advice is, don't make assumptions. Base conclusions on data. Tesla's historical data shows us the safest vehicles ever shipped, but that's still not enough to know for sure how safe this brand new truck is. I'm leaning towards this truck being one of the safest ever, as Elon Musk hinted at in a tweet, but I will reserve my final judgment until I have facts. Next up today is some very big news for the Model 3 and its tax credit. For a while now, since the reformed IRA tax credit was put into place, every trim of the Model 3 and Y have qualified for the full $7,500 US federal EV tax credit. One stipulation of this program, though, is the fact that it gets stricter with time. It requires strict US-related battery sourcing for the materials and cells. The purpose of this has been to drive innovation and battery production to the US, but in practice, it is stricter than it should be. A clear way we're seeing this right now is with the Model 3. Originally, Tesla was notifying customers that the tax credit would be cut in half come 2024 for the Model 3 rear-wheel drive and long range. This was their guess based on guidance, but now we learn that come 2024, the tax credit is completely disappearing. Their website now says, quote, "Customers who take delivery of a qualified new Tesla and meet all federal requirements are eligible for a tax credit up to $7,500. Tax credit will end for Model 3 rear-wheel drive and Model 3 long range on December 31st, 2023, based on current view of new IRA guidance. Take delivery by December 31st for full tax credit." They expanded on this on X, saying, quote, "Unfortunately, the federal $7,500 EV tax credit will end entirely for Model 3 rear-wheel drive and long range delivered after 12/31. This is very big news, and it points out a number of things. First, for customers that qualify and are looking at one of these two cars, this is a good incentive to buy now. Instead of decreasing by $3,750, this $7,500 credit will be gone next year, so full price from Tesla will be the only option in 2024. An exciting part about that tax credit is that it's changing to a point of sale credit in 2024, but it won't matter for these trims. Interestingly, the performance Model 3 will still fully qualify, it seems. The reason here relates to battery scaling. As requirements get stricter, Tesla simply can't keep up unless they use disqualified battery suppliers. Troy Teslike expanded on this, saying, quote, "Panasonic was never able to increase 2170 cell production at Giga Nevada enough, and Tesla in the US still continues to import cells that don't qualify for 52,000 Model 3s per year. Then, beginning in 2024, an eligible clean vehicle may not contain any battery components that are manufactured by a foreign entity of concern, and beginning in 2025, an eligible clean vehicle may not contain any critical minerals that were extracted, processed, or recycled by a foreign entity of concern." Essentially, no cars should be able to qualify if they use batteries from the world's largest EV battery manufacturing country, China. That's the main issue here, and it points to a problem with the tax credit in practice. The idea of making strict requirements to force automakers to source in the US is a good one, but it's clearly getting too strict too quickly. Building battery manufacturing capacity and scaling it up takes time, and this does not allow for that, especially from the company that sells more electric cars in the US than the rest of the US EV market combined. For legacy automakers, this could lead to a slowing of production and EV scaling, since it's not worth making an EV that won't qualify. It likely will also have the unfortunate side effect of rewarding cars with small batteries like hybrids and PHEVs, since it's easier to source a small amount of batteries within these requirements. Those will qualify, but a full electric EV with zero emissions will not. I think the best situation here would be to add some sort of provision that makes a company eligible for a period as long as they are moving forward with local battery manufacturing. Instead, it looks like this is going to act like the tax credit did before. It was capped at 200,000 vehicles per company, so it actually punished companies that truly scaled up EVs. Tesla and GM did not qualify because they were over that cap, but a company that waited and finally released one would qualify for $7,500 off for their first 200,000 units. Certain EVs in low volumes, sourcing their low volume batteries in the US will qualify pretty easily. But for the cars actually scaling right now, they need foreign batteries to build their EVs during the time that they invest and ramp up US battery manufacturing. I'm curious to see if anything changes here, because these requirements have the right idea but are failing in practice and working against the largest EV maker in the US, at least for now. Tesla is scaling up battery production in the US, but they can't do it quick enough, and likely no other company can either. This creates an interesting situation for Tesla though. Come 2024, they will have to figure out how to price their vehicles related to this. For the Model 3, pricing currently sits at $39,000, $46,000, and $51,000 for their 3 trims respectively, rounded. Each of those have qualified, allowing customers that qualify to get these cars for $31,500, $38,500, and $43,500 respectively. Come 2024 though, customers will be able to buy a performance Model 3 for the same $43,500, but will find that a cheaper Model 3 long range costs more at $46,000. That's somewhat of a pricing issue for Tesla, and we could see them approach this in a number of ways in 2024. Maybe they can drop prices some to make up for the tax credit loss, or maybe they raise the price of the performance Model 3. Then maybe they can shift around battery production within 2024 to allow this car to re-qualify. Also, to further complicate things, the tax credit is expected to be fully available for the Model Y in all trims in 2024. That means that many customers will be able to buy a Model Y with a tax credit and get it for less than a similarly spec'd Model 3. For example, a long-range Model Y will be $41,500 with a tax credit, whereas a long-range Model 3 will be $46,000. That's kind of a no-brainer right there to go for a larger Model Y. Then Tesla is expected to launch a refreshed Model 3 in 2024. This car will bring a lot of great new features and could in theory justify a higher price, but should you wait for the new car with no tax credit or buy now with it? Of course, that will depend on your personal financial situation and how you like the current Model 3. We don't have the full provisions yet from the IRS, but it seems very likely that the strictness of this tax credit is going to disqualify a lot of great EVs in the US in 2024. It's a shame to see, and now we'll have to see how Tesla responds come 2024, while seemingly launching a brand new Model 3 in the US. Next up today, Tesla has released an exciting update for their Tesla bot Optimus, officially unveiling Gen 2 of Optimus. Tesla first unveiled the idea of the Tesla bot at AI Day back in 2021. At that event, there was simply a dummy on stage and the idea of what they could deliver, with some specs of how it may end up. From there, Tesla unveiled a prototype called Bumblebee in September of 2022. It was able to walk slowly, wave its hands to the audience, and dance. Tesla also showed off a video of this operating, tethered in Tesla's offices and factories. They called it Humble Beginnings and demonstrated how this is using their autopilot technologies and neural network. Then they brought out their more refined prototype, which wasn't able to walk yet. This was exciting to see since this project went from an idea of a future product unveiled as a one more thing to an actual basic prototype in a very short period of time. 6 months ago, Tesla gave a bot update showing off a few of their updated prototypes walking around the factory and other areas, showing how the robot processes the world. Their goal was increasingly complex tasks, and then 4 months after that, they showed it doing a task like this even better. The video starts with the bot self-calibrating and then shows it sorting blocks based on color and adjusting on the fly. One thing that was notable was that this video was clearly sped up. Then it was stretching and finishing with Namaste. Now, 2 months later, Tesla has posted further impressive progress. They posted on X saying, "There's a new bot in town. Check this out until the very end." The video starts by showing the previous iterations of Optimus and unveils Gen 2. The new version is definitely much more refined and officially is being unveiled as of December. It has Tesla-designed actuators and sensors, and they show it walking in a similar fashion in front of some Cybertrucks that are being worked on. The walking speed has boosted 30% since the last generation. It has foot force/torque sensing, articulated toe sections, and general human foot geometry. This version reduced the total weight by 10 kilograms and has improved balance and body control. Here we can see it doing a pretty solid squat. The hands are all new and faster than before, and they demonstrate its tactile sensing on all fingers when it picks up eggs for sorting. This is specifically to show off delicate object manipulation. They finish the video by saying, "Stay tuned to see what Optimus will do next." And then in classic Tesla fashion, the video finishes with a bit of dancing from 2 Gen 2 Optimus prototypes. As always, this is a hand-picked highlight reel of progress for Optimus, so we can't truly know how the project is going overall. What this does show, though, is some very swift progress on Tesla's front. We are seeing them catch up to where other humanoid robots have been in the past, within just a couple years. For most people, this shows just how far Tesla could go quickly if they keep up this progress. This post is also a bit of a recruitment effort with their AI link at the bottom of the tweet. Milan Kovac from Tesla's Optimus team also expressed how exciting this is, saying, "Every day that same wow feeling hits me as I enter our lab and see all our bots in action. Julian Ibar's AI team explores various neural net architectures, trains them on our world-class supercomputers, deploys them on several real-world humanoid robots, and evaluates their performance at doing elaborated tasks fully autonomously. While imitation learning gets us to a nice spot, we're adding RL components to our stack for situations where data collection through teleoperation is not feasible, not scalable, or not safe, both for locomotion and manipulation. We're also looking into the bigger picture of learning straight from videos of humans performing the tasks. This is the most exciting part about the TeslaBot to most people, pairing the hardware with a very smart software. As far as future progress, Elon says so much engineering has gone into the hands, in a year it will be able to thread a needle. Per usual, Elon is stating a forward-looking goal for a technology that is related to their AI and FSD efforts, so I would take this prediction with a grain of salt, but I'd love to see this happen. The news right now is consumed a lot with the Cybertruck, but Tesla has so much going on at all times. It's pretty crazy to see this progress. What do you think though? Is this impressive, or are you underwhelmed by the TeslaBot? Leave a comment below to let me know your thoughts. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see why you may want to wait to buy a Cybertruck, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.